We'll go ahead and start our post-qualifying media availability here for Sunday's Overton's 301. We're joined by our second-place qualifier, Martin Truex Jr., driver of the number 78 Wix Filters Toyota for Furniture Row Racing. Martin, not the stat you want here, but the sixth time this year you've come in second during Coors Light Pole Award qualifying. But if you're going to be beat out by anybody, the 42, it's quite a feat. So if you walk us through your qualifying round.
Well, I tell you, we don't want to get beat by anybody.
Yeah.
We don't really care who it is, but yeah, I want to come up here and complain about being second again, but it seems like when we start second, we race really well. So we'll see what we can do with the car tomorrow for Sunday, and excited about the weekend. Have Wix Filters on the car, our first and only race with them this season. So hopefully we'll give them a good run on Sunday and see if we can go get some more points.
Okay, if you have a question for Martin, raise your hand. We'll get a wireless microphone to you. Question for Martin Truex Jr.
Answered them all earlier.
Oh, we have Wendy?
Wendy Venturini, PRN. You were the only car in qualifying to take one lap each session. Do you feel like tires are going to be a huge fall-off this weekend? What was the strategy behind you?
Yeah, I mean, you never know. I think for us, we were fast enough to move on with one lap, so why do two? It was more a strategy for the third round of qualifying, I would say, than the race. But anytime you have less laps on your tires in the competition in the race, I think it's a good thing. So I thought it was going to help us in round three, but for some reason we just got a little bit too tight in the third round and weren't able to get it. But all in all, like I said, it was a really good effort by the team, and hopefully we can take advantage of a good starting spot on Sunday.
Any additional questions for Martin? We'll go to Jeff.
Jeff Gluck from jeffgluck.com. I'm just wondering how much the PJ1 or whatever is holding up out there. Would you like to see them apply more?
I would say that it's held up well, especially since we had a 50-lap modified race. I was a little bit worried that they would pull it up. You know, those big wide tires, and they're so much faster through the corners than we are. So I was worried, but it's held up great. I really felt like it was really, really similar to practice. And so we've had 2 Xfinity practices, a K&N practice, and a modified race all on it today, and it's held up fine. So we'll just have to see. I mean, that's, I think, the big question in everybody's mind right now is how's it going to hold up? Are they going to end up modifying it at some point in the weekend to change things? So it's definitely a big deal, and it's a lot more grip on the strip than there is off it on the old racing groove. So we'll just have to see how it goes and play it by ear and make changes as needed. We're using it on entry all the way through the middle and then kind of pulling it down off of the stuff on exit just to get a straighter line off because, typically here it's hard to get the power down. So I think if they could extend it further off the corner on the lane that it's in, it would help us go faster, but I don't necessarily think it'd be better for the racing. So I think it's okay right now. We'll just, again, we'll have to see. I mean, it's so new to everybody. We'll have to see how it holds up and then how we can actually race on it, if it's better or worse than what we had here before.
Any additional questions for Martin? Let's go to Amy.
Amy Harrop, Race Pro Weekly. So right now, the weather is set to be completely different than what it is today. How do you think that's going to affect you and your performance?
Well, it's going to affect everybody. I think, the question is who's going to guess right for Sunday. I think that, historically our guys have been really good at guessing on the racetracks, especially when we have big weather changes. But more importantly, I think the VHT is the big question again. When it gets hot, supposedly that stuff gets stickier and tackier. And so when it gets hot here, typically the normal groove that we used to race that has not been treated yet gets slicker by quite a bit. So, I think it was 0.3 to 0.5 second difference between the old preferred line in practice and the line that was treated with VHT. And the question is, if it gets hotter out, will that difference get larger? Will we all be stuck running in the same spot in the corners? We won't know till Sunday because it's going to be cool again tomorrow. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Any additional questions?
Thank you.
Martin, take care. If I could have your attention here in the media center, we are now joined by the Coors Light Pole Award winner for the 25th annual Overton's 301 here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and that's Kyle Larson, driver of the number 42 Target Chevrolet for Chip Ganassi Racing. This is Kyle's 4th pole of 2017. And Kyle, would you please just walk us through your really 3 strong rounds of qualifying for you today.
Yeah, thanks. We were really good in race trim, I thought, and then we went into qualifying trim was even better. So I was able in practice to run, about 2.5 tenths faster than most people, and then the 78 went faster at the end of practice, but still, I think like over a tenth slower than I was, and pretty much the same thing in qualifying. I was able to be a lot faster than everybody, and then they kind of closed the gap each round. And then the final round, I was really nervous about the 78 because he'd only ran 1 lap each of the first 2 rounds. So I figured he'd be really good in the 3rd round, and didn't run the best first lap that I wanted to, but was able to recover and run a good 2nd lap in the final round and have enough to hold him off. So cool to get the pole, and hopefully have a good race on Sunday.
Great. Let's open the questions. We'll start here at the Richard and work our way around.
Hi, Kyle. Rich Thompson, Boston Herald. Who's your acting crew chief, and how were you able to get such a quick rapport and get this car in this kind of shape?
Yeah, Tony Lunders is the crew chief for the next few weeks, but we have also all of our engineers and stuff that are helping out. So it's kind of a big team effort right now, and really cool to get the pole in our first race back after the penalty.
Go to Amy.
Amy Harrop, Race Pro Weekly. You had like a seemingly perfect day, top of the charts in practice, top of the charts in all the qualifying rounds. So what are some, do you still see like room for improvement, and what can you improve on the racetrack?
Yeah, it'll be interesting once we get back into race trim practice tomorrow, and also there's the VHT or PJ1 that's on the track, and that'll go through a lot of changes throughout the weekend. So trying to stay on top of that and find the right balance with the track conditions changing will be important. So I'm excited for the little bit of practice I get tomorrow because of our penalties, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Any additional questions for Kyle Larson? We'll go to Nate, then to Jeff.
Nate Ryan, NBC Sports. Kyle, is there anything you want to say more about what they found Wednesday in terms of the penalty?
I honestly, everybody should probably know by now, I know nothing about race cars, so I don't honestly know what it was that got us in trouble. Yeah, it was a big penalty, so it must have been something important in their eyes. So we'll continue to move past it, and obviously a really good start to that. So it'd be neat to get a win, and be really good for our organization.
Jeff?
Jeff Gluck from jeffgluck.com. Do you feel like that when there's the PJ1 or whatever on the track and the track conditions are changing a lot, does that benefit you with your experience with finding different lines and things?
Yeah, I definitely think it helps for sure. I'm not one that's afraid to move around and find different lanes and little things to do differently. But I think as a PJ1 wears out, it'll probably just kind of slowly go back to normal Loudon. I feel like the color change is lightened up and lost a little bit of grip as the day's gone on already. So I'm sure they'll look at it after the Xfinity race tomorrow with all the laps that are run and reevaluate if they need to put any more down or in different areas or what. But so far, I think it's been good. It's cool that we're running a full lane and maybe lane and a half up higher than we typically do, and they even have it on the bottom too, which opens up some options down there. It'd be almost interesting, I think, if they could go even higher with it in the corners and just kind of open the groove up even more. But we'll see. I think it's been a huge improvement already. Yeah, we'll see how the race goes. Yeah, I haven't really honestly been out of it. The first couple laps of cup practice I was, but I moved up and was good.
Jim?
Jim Hunter, motorsport.com. People talk about athletes being in zones. I just wondered, it seems every week you face obstacles and you just come out fast. Do you feel like that? You're in that kind of situation right now? And if so, is that the first time you've really felt that in your NASCAR career?
Well, I think there's a lot that goes into it other than just me being in the zone. I feel like our whole race team and race shop's kind of in the zone right now, and especially the 42 team. I feel like we're just clicking really well, and feel like we get better every single run we make on the racetrack throughout practice, and if we get off in the race, we know where to go to get back, go headed in the right direction as far as balance and stuff, and in all the types of racing I've been doing this year, it seems like everything's just kind of going my way. In the past, I think you look at my NASCAR career, I've had, other than Truex, probably the worst luck. So it seems like this year, each of us have had really good luck, and also fast race cars and race teams to go along with it. So it's just a combination of a lot of things for our team to be run up front, and it's just really cool. Definitely trying to soak it all in and enjoy it, because it's not very often that you can be this dominant in such a tough sport. So just got to keep working hard at it.
Go to Matthew, then to Nate.
Matthew Warrens, Race Bar Weekly. Kyle, I know you went out for practice earlier this morning. Did the modified rubber play a bit of an effect to it?
And I don't even really remember how the track schedule went, but I think we were probably on track right after them early in the day, and we waited a few minutes to go out, and I thought the track was kind of slick, which typically I feel like it's usually slick, but it got better. And then in Xfinity, because I'm doing double duty, after their race, I thought I had more grip, so kind of got confused a little bit. But I don't know. I don't really feel like the modified rubber does a ton to the racetrack, but maybe it will be more of an effect now that we're actually racing in the same groove that they race in.
Nate?
Kyle, you said it was getting better every run. I mean, generally that's drivers telling the crew chief what to do, and you guys are hitting on the right combination. Do you have much of a rapport with Tony? I mean, I'm sure you know him, but like, was it just instant that you guys didn't miss a beat without Chad being there?
Well, I was more talking about all season long, not here in general, but every racetrack. I feel like throughout practice, we make improvements all throughout the day. Today, Fridays are typically kind of hard to judge off of because the track goes through a lot of changes and all that. So we'll see how tomorrow goes, though. I think once you get into race trim stuff, it becomes more difficult, and especially here because I feel like I struggle at this place. So we'll see. But we have really smart people at our race shop and on our team. So even though we don't have Chad here, I'm 100% confident that we can run just as good as we always do.
Zach?
Zach Tain's ready, front stretch. A big week for Eldora and dirt racing and NASCAR coming up shortly. So we see guys like Bobby Pierce and Max Johnston, small dirt track talents, and they're getting this opportunity to run this race. So to you, what does it mean to see drivers like that getting opportunities for one of the biggest races of the year?
Yeah, that's probably the coolest part about that race. Not that it's on dirt, which is cool, but that you get a lot of unknown drivers, or drivers that I would know because I follow dirt track racing, but your fans that are sitting up in the stands from New England that have no idea what dirt racing is get to kind of get a sense of all these other drivers that have a lot of talent. So Bobby Pierce has been amazing to watch the last couple of years, and Chris Wyndham's racing this year, so I'm good friends with him and really excited to see how he runs because he's one of the best dirt racers there is. So should be interesting. I don't get to race it this year, which is disappointing. I've got to test it at Darlington next week, but yeah, I'm excited to sit at home and grill out, or Caitlin grill for me, and watch the race.
Well, Kyle, congratulations again on winning the Coors Light Pole Award, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Harvested. Team. Team.